I guess I can be in it, but I don't know.
We're good.
Okay. Is it recording?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
He'll
so
just the bag.
Sorry.
Are you being recorded right now?
Yes.
Yeah, it's recording.
It's
Dalton, you wanted to learn?
No.
Okay.
Okay, so
Anyway, so we have a battery that's basically our
just shut on
power supply to the robot. It drains pretty fast on the robot because we use so many amps.
Okay, you know
Standard 12-volt battery, like a car battery. And the first step to getting the power to the robot is you plug the battery up to a breaker. And this is also the on-off switch for the entire robot. It closes and opens just like that. And next, after you have your breaker, you're gonna screw it into the power distribution board. And this has it separates the power so that it can go to the motors. Higher amperage goes to the motors. Lower amperage will go to other control. And there's a myriad of peripheral devices that it hooks up to. And next you have your Robo-Rio. This is the this is the control for the entire robot. It's the brains for the robot. Now this is not the true Robo-Rio. I must have.
This is the Robo-Rio.
That's the true one.
And
this is a different type.
that's the My Rio.
Yeah.
That one's mainly used for the classes. It can be used. It's just got a little bit less power than this.
And I shall use it for demonstration purposes. So you got your control board, and you have to hook it up from the power distribution board into the power supply. Now on your board, you will insert breakers so that if too many amps goes to a certain device, it will cut off so that the robot doesn't like melt or catch on fire or whatever. So it basically slots in there, and there's different breakers for these. This side, the big side, is for the motors, and the smaller side is for the less power consuming devices. Now if you'd like to insert breakers.
Another thing you're going to use as well, these two, it's a new addition to the power distribution panel. They're fuses, so you've got a 10 and 20 amp fuse on here, and those are just going to go.
I'm going to scoot it over
Here. And here. So those will just plug in, and that's for the really small devices. Actually, one of those that connects is the Robo-Rio. That connects into the less than 20 amps.
It goes into any of those slots. And really, if you were to be connecting something to those slots too, you'd have to use a breaker. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a complete circuit, and it wouldn't work. Now, next you have your motor controllers. These are a lot different than what we used in previous years. These are the nice new ones. And pretty much you would plug a wire into the motor controller peripheral. And make sure it's red to red and black to black. You don't want to short anywhere. And you would strip the wires and you'd plug it in. And then these ends will connect to one of our big motors, which we call a SIM, and that stands for a Chinese induction motor. These things have quite a bit of power behind them. And this cord here is for PWM. On the real Robo-Rio, it would plug into a slot that says PWM, and that controls the speed of the motor, and if the motor is running forward or backwards, or if it's running at all. So next you have your voltage converter, and it takes in power from the board into there, and it will convert it to 12 volts and 5 volts, and
this part
Uh,
from the Dragonfly.
some devices use different voltages to work. Like the radio we use the 5-volt size, and it says radio right there. So that's what you would plug in the radio power
It's a
to.
square piece, it's hollow inside.
And we also have a pneumatic control board, and it would also hook into the power would go into this board, and the control wires would go into the robo wheel. And what this does is the robo wheel will send a signal to it to the one of its wires, and that signal will control a solenoid, which is basically a remotely actuated switch for pneumatics control. Like we got a signal to one of the wires of a solenoid, and it opens and air will flow through it, pressurized air. So that's what we use to control pistons and such like that. Now also, I do not have it on here with me. There's one on that board, is a compressor, and it hooks up to the power, and it takes in normal air and compresses it for the use in pistons and all the pneumatics control systems. You guys aren't lost, are you? Okay, good. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. You got your flow in, and it goes all out, all the components. We do have a solenoid on that board.
That's what killed us last year.
Also, that's what a solenoid looks like. We have control wires, and it goes into the solenoid control board, and you have a air in and 2 airs out, so that when the solenoid valve is on this position, air won't flow through that, and it flows through there, and then it switches and will flow through there and not through there. So you can use that for all sorts of applications, like resetting and actuating pistons.
Great for prototypes, but if you want
On our compressor here,
once we got it
we-
set, then you send it
gotta pick
off.
the camera up. On our compressor here, we have a sensor, and what it does is it detects if there's pressure, and if the pressure reaches a certain
They make all of our gussets, instead of buying them perfection.
threshold, it will send a signal to the robo wheel telling the compressor to stop, to shut off, so that the system doesn't become over pressurized.
So I'm gonna go ahead and place an order.
That's pretty much it. There's not that many components. You just got
Symbiotics use-
your board, motor controllers, and rubber wheel and breaker. That's
No.
a simple robot. Sounds good? You don't need anything else explained?
0.1.
Okay, I think that's it.
So it's just under a quarter, just under